Welcome to our channel. And today we have the thriller and fantasy movie Shorts. But before we start, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to receive our upcoming videos. In this recap of Shorts, get ready for a wild ride through a small town turned upside down by the discovery of a magical wishing rock. From wild adventures to hilarious mishaps, the movie follows a group of kids who learn valuable life lessons after their wishes spiral out of control. With humor, chaos, and heart, Shorts shows how a simple wish can change everything, but also teach the importance of friendship, responsibility, and thinking before you wish. Let's dive into the fun and see how everything unfolds. Our movie begins in a place called Blackfall, where a group of people live, some good and some bad. In this area, there's also a company called the Black Box, which is a company that manufactures developed products. It can turn into anything like a razor, phone, flashlight, etc. This is Mr. Black, the owner of the company, who tells the employees that other companies have started competing with them, and he becomes upset. As soon as one of the employees says that the company's sales have started to decline, he fires her. Another employee speaks up, and he fires him too, and dismisses them from work. He has two teams of developers in the company, each with a leader. He tells them to suggest a new product for him to make, and whoever loses will be fired along with their family. They tell him they are married, so if one of them wins, the other will be fired too. Anyway, we go to our hero, Toe, who wakes up and starts brushing his teeth, which requires special care. He goes to have breakfast with his sister, who annoys him, and his parents, who work at the Black Box company. Then, he heads to his school, ready to get beaten up as usual. By whom? By a guy named Cole and a girl named Helvetica, who are the children of Mr. Black, the owner of the company where his parents work. Before he gets beaten up, Helvetica tells him, "By the way, you annoy me every day because you like me since we are alike in everything." The girl then shoves his head into the trash can. He enters the class late and greets the fish in the tank, which is his only friend. A classmate talks about finding a stone that grants all wishes. Then Helvetica talks about wasps. After class, he is alone as usual, and the guy who was talking earlier sits next to him and offers him chocolate. He advises him to take a stand against the kids who beat him up. Then his siblings come to take him away, saying they need to go home immediately. While walking, chocolate keeps falling out of his pocket, as if there's a factory inside. After school, Toe is heading home but finds Cole and his friends chasing him to beat him up. He runs away and they throw stones at him, so he hides in a tree. Cole throws a stone at him, and he finds a colorful stone in front of him. When he throws it at Toe and sees his head bleeding, he and his friends run away. When Toe comes down from the tree, he finds the stone, and as soon as he holds it, he hears someone telling him to make a wish. The voice surrounds him until he listens and wishes for different friends. Suddenly, 4 alien creatures appear and become his friends. He takes them home and puts them in his bag as he enters. When his busy parents see them, they apologize for not picking him up from school and blame each other. Meanwhile, the aliens have left the bag and caused chaos in the kitchen. When his parents hear the noise, they go to see what happened in the kitchen and find them preparing a wonderful dinner. Suddenly, as his parents are eating, Mr. Black appears and asks them about work. This man literally treats his employees like slaves. Toe takes his friends and makes them clean the room, which makes his dad happy and surprised. He then takes them to clean his teeth and fix his braces. Meanwhile, his sister enters his room looking for her key because she's going out and talking to her boyfriend on the phone. She finds Toe's wishing stone and holds it, telling her boyfriend she wishes he would grow up and stop being silly. Suddenly, her boyfriend screams and tells her he's become a giant. This way, the wishes are fulfilled without her knowing. After that, she finds her key, takes it, and leaves. Meanwhile, the aliens have fixed Toe's teeth, and he no longer needs braces. The next morning, he goes to school, and his sister passes by him, talking to her boyfriend, who tells her he's in the hospital, waiting for them to make a bed for him. But she thinks he's lying and hangs up on him, asking her brother to ride with her to drop him off, but he refuses. Toe makes the aliens carry him and fly him to school. As soon as he arrives at school, the gang is waiting to beat him up, so he runs away from them. When Helvetica sees that he no longer has braces, she gets very angry. Suddenly, while he's sitting in class, the aliens play music from his bag, so he reaches in to take the device from them, and it flies into Helvetica's face. She takes the fish he loves from the tank and threatens to eat it. As soon as she eats it, he jumps on her, and they both fall out of the second-floor window, breaking their bodies and ending up in the hospital. He visits his friend Logi and asks about his alien friends. Meanwhile, the aliens decide to return to their planet, and Toe spends most of his time with Helvetica at school, eating and drinking together. But he can't eat because of his caste, while she can eat with her feet, so she doesn't have a problem. Toe finds out that his friend Logi was responsible for a big part of what happened to him, and it all started when Logi told his siblings he was bored and wanted to play in their garden. They told him there was a strong storm today, but he insisted. As soon as they went outside, the storm stopped and a rainbow appeared, with its end in their garden. They expected to find treasure at the end of the rainbow, as fairy tales always say, but when they arrived, they found a colorful stone, which was the stone To found after Logi. Logi realizes the stone grants wishes and wishes for endless candy in his pocket. His pocket keeps producing lots of candy. He warns his siblings not to wish for anything before knowing the rules. So he wishes for a rule book and finds a huge book but ignores it. He wishes for a castle surrounded by a moat filled with crocodiles and snakes. He and his siblings fight over the stone, each wanting to make a wish until it falls into the moat. They have to go down to get it, and unfortunately, it falls on a crocodile's head. When Logi goes to retrieve it, the crocodile swallows the stone. Suddenly, the crocodile and snakes attack him and his siblings, and he has no choice but to retrieve the stone and save his siblings. He goes and jumps into the crocodile's mouth, retrieves the stone, and wishes for the snakes to disappear. The school homework gets cut when it was inside the crocodile's belly. Suddenly, he finds the crocodiles running after them like humans and realizes that the crocodile wished for this when the stone was in its belly. He and his siblings run and hide in the forest with the help of a dinosaur that takes them away, but the crocodiles are still coming after them. He wishes they could go back to where they started. At that moment, Logi's brother wishes that one of them had extraordinary intelligence, and they discover that this person is the little girl who was sitting with them in the room. Her intelligence allows her to communicate with them without speaking. They realize that the stone has become dangerous and wish to put it in the stone and throw it away. It falls in the area where they had found it before throwing it at To. One day, the stone reaches the house of a boy who was To's schoolmate before he moved into the house and decided to spend the rest of his life there because he doesn't want to be exposed to any germs and is forbidden to go outside because the air is polluted, according to his father, who is a scientist. This happens when To's sister finds the stone while giving the boy a lesson at home and takes the stone with her. Meanwhile, Dr. Noseworthy, the boy's father, is working on an experiment to create mitochondria that can function outside a cell. Unfortunately, the boy sneezes and accidentally throws mucus into his father's lab without him noticing. When he gets the stone with his sister, he accidentally wishes for his father's experiment to succeed, and the mucus turns into a living creature that starts chasing them. To arrives at the house and asks about the stone, but the boy claims he doesn't have it. To decides to break the window and enter the house, but the boy's father catches them and sanitizes them. However, the boy sees the monster that forms in his father's lab and realizes it's his mucus. When To sees his friend with the stone, he tries to take it from him, but it falls from their hands. Suddenly, the monster emerges from the lab and swallows it. Dr. Noseworthy understands what happened, and they start fleeing from the monster. To tries to reach inside the monster to retrieve the stone, but it almost devours him until his friend sneezes again and threatens the monster to release him, or he will swallow the sneeze. To manages to grab the stone and they escape outside, swing with the monster following them. Dr. Noseworthy appears and traps the monster in a device, saving the day. To notices the stone on the ground, grabs it, and runs away. Then he goes to talk to Helvetica after they became friends. She invites him to a party her father is hosting for the company's employees, which his parents are attending, but he refuses to go and goes to sleep. Later, his mother checks on him and sees the stone, taking it with her in her bag. When To finds out what happened, he takes his bike and rushes after his mother to the party to retrieve the stone. As soon as he arrives at the party, he notices that his parents are distant from each other, so he wishes for them to be closer. The wish comes true, and they end up stuck together, forcing them to hide before someone opens the door and sees them. When he goes to the balcony, he finds To's mother's bag and takes it. To arrives and bumps into them, and when her father sees him, she tells him that he brought her homework, so he invites him to the party. As soon as To spots the stone inside, he grabs it, but the mischievous girl hits him and takes it from him. Her brother then traps To in the trash as usual, which angers her, and she wishes he would become a cockroach. He transforms, and To accidentally bumps into her, causing the stone to fall into a guest's dish. His parents see what happened and desire the stone as well. The stone ends up with Mr. Black, who accidentally wishes for everyone at the party to have the same spirit, even though he dislikes everyone. So everyone starts clinging to each other, and the stone falls to the ground. Suddenly, the girl takes the stone, and her father takes it from her, causing a fight. She snatches it from him, and wishes for his ears to be big, then wishes for a race motorcycle and takes it, escaping with the stone. However, she gets into an accident, and the stone falls from her, returning to her father's possession. Chaos ensues again, and people start fighting until To takes the stone and quickly wishes for everything to return to normal. Suddenly, the girl appears in front of him and asks for the stone, but he throws it high into the air, far away, and in this way, the stone reaches Dr. Noseworthy's house, and everything we narrated happens. After To and Logi escape with the stone, the girl and her brother take it from them, and they keep fighting each other. To, Logi, and their siblings, and the whole town all want the stone, leading to a literal war until the stone ends up in Mr. Black's hands. He wishes for a lot of money, but his daughter tricks him into wishing for everything that happened to disappear. The stone keeps moving from hand to hand, and even To's sister's giant boyfriend appears, causing a big war in the city. Mr. Black turns into a monster, and his daughter becomes a giant wasp. Chaos ensues until all the wishes are cancelled, and they wonder what happened. Logi's little sister, who has become very smart because of the stone, tells them they broke the stone's rules, making it unstable. She asks the stone to leave them and promises they will learn from what happened. They unite and destroy the stone. It rains afterward, and a rainbow appears. The stone goes to another city, changing people's personalities, making them love each other and treat each other better. Even Mr. Black changes. The story's moral is that not all wishes bring good fortune, and we must accept our fate. This is the end of our movie. If you enjoyed today's film, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.